Thank you for joining us, Hans. Today I'm actually looking at the different types of architecture when it comes to deploying a network packet broker. Can you walk us through what the different options are and what they entail?
Certainly. So the two main topics of how to deploy a packet broker are what we call out-of-band and inline. The reasons you deploy each are very different from each other, and the way you go about them and setting them up within your network are also very different from each other. So let's walk through really quick, first of all, what the two different things are, what out-of-band means and what inline means. On the left of the screen here, you see a typical out-of-band deployment. And the reason we call that out-of-band is because you're taking the data off of your network and you're giving that to a tool. It doesn't matter what the tool does with that data. It could modify it. It could do whatever. That modification is not coming back onto your production network, and therefore that's out-of-band because it's not being harmed. An inline network deployment, however, is very fundamentally different, and usually this is used with security applications. We turn the tap into a bypass switch, and we bring the data into a packet broker, and we feed a service chain of tools. That service chain could then modify the data and then bring that data back onto the network. So let's take a closer look at out-of-band really quick. So here you see an out-of-band, and again, these are taps that go into your network, could be virtual taps for that matter, that come into a packet broker, and this is where we do all of our typical packet broker things of aggregating, filtering, deduping the traffic, what have you, before we deliver it out to the tool. Many of those things are very applicable in out-of-band scenarios like dedupe, where I want to deliver the first packet but not the second, third, or fourth to the tool, but that do not work in an inline model. So let's take a look at an inline model. Inline is where I bring this in, I deliver it to a bypass switch, and then I feed a service chain. And just to follow up on that dedupe example, dedupe doesn't work here because each tool needs to see the full transaction flow of what's going on within the customer network. There are some nice things you can do by introducing a packet broker and a bypass switch into an inline model. First of all, I can set fail open and fail close policies around all of my tools so that you don't have to suffer a production outage if one of the tools fail. I can load balance the traffic across them. I can take tools in and out of service. It gives you a way to manage that environment very seamlessly. The only thing that's a bump on the wire in your production network is this bypass switch. We keep that bypass switch the feature set very simple and robust on it. The mean time between failure in those is measured in years. They're very strong. The second thing, and a lot of customers really take advantage of, is this out-of-box sandboxing. This lets you copy your production traffic to your security device. It might be a firewall. Let's say you're testing the next point release on that firewall. You want to make sure that that new release is going to keep you as safe and as secure as you think it will. You can test that with real production traffic to test not only the security aspects of that, but as well as make sure that your change window is going to be successful so you don't have a failed change event that might cause a long production outage. I should note here that with TLS 1.3, a lot of the world is going to be migrating to an inline model away from out-of-band because of the way the certificates are handled within TLS. The last thing I want to touch on real quick is if you get to is high availability and resilience within an inline model. In this environment, you would bring more than one bypass switch onto your different production network links, and then you would feed that into an HA setup within a packet broker, and then feed your service chain up here. The advantage to this is if there's a failure, the bypass switch will detect that failure within the packet broker network, bring the links down, which allows your switch and router fabric to reconverge as fast as BGP, OSPF will reconverge. Hopefully that's a good overview. I hope that helps you.
Yeah, no, that's a great overview. It's really detailed. Thank you so much, Hans.
Thank you, Patrick.